Hi, David here from Making Stuff Easy. Like a lot of families, we have two cars. One's a bit older, about 12 years old, and it's got remote locking. And the remote locking unit for that recently broke, and we were concerned, and indeed one of those remote locking units got lost as well temporarily. And we were faced with a cost of $323 per remote locking unit from the manufacturer. And I thought, if it's just the case it's just broken, then surely there's a better way, and indeed there is. And what I'll show you today is how I fixed up the remote locking units for about $9 each, and also how I did this for a garage remote control some years ago. So let's get on with it, shall we? Here's the remote locking unit that I was most concerned with. As you can see, where the ring goes through, the clip is broken on one side, and indeed if I twist the key ring in it, then it actually comes off, and I'm concerned it's going to get lost in the bottom of a handbag or in the back of a car or something else like that. So we looked at replacement keys and units, and here's one typical online, $364.95 including GST. And if I spoke to Mazda, then they wanted a similar amount of money, $323 for a key. So that was going to be too expensive, particularly as it was just the case that was broken. So I found online replacement cases, and there's a really great mob here who did great service, Remote Pro, and as you can see it's only $9 including GST. And I liked it so much I actually bought two of them so I could actually replace both cases. Even though they didn't both need replacing, I thought it would be worth doing it at the same time. At the same time as well, I bought some new batteries. So let's look at what we need. We've got the two sets of keys including the remote control units. The replacement cases. Batteries, these are CR2025s, but you may need something different. And some small flathead screwdrivers. So looking at removing the existing case, we use a screwdriver to very carefully prise apart the two sections. This was a bit difficult here because of the broken section on the keyring. So there's the back case, the front case, the PCB and the battery. We'll carefully prise the PCB and the battery out. There's a layer of rubber in between, so we're going to not damage the PCB, but just be careful. Now separate the PCB from the rubber button cover. We can see there's a correlation between the two buttons on the rubber and the PCB, lock and unlock. Let's set the rubber aside for the moment, and I'm going to use a small soft brush just to clean down the PCB before we do any further work with it. You can see I've removed the battery here for the moment. So let's compare the units. At the top we have the old unit, which is clearly broken, and at the bottom we have the new unit. They're pretty similar. The plastic on the older unit is probably better quality, and it's lasted 12 years, but we're not anticipating keeping this car for that long again, so this is going to be satisfactory for the 2 or 3 years we're going to retain the car. So let's put it all back together again. I've marked the old battery with an X just for clarity. Take it out, put the new battery in. We had a bit of a problem here because the age of the unit and the battery fixture actually broke, so I'm going to have to keep that in place. Put it back into this new rubber cover. Place the new rubber cover in the front of the new unit. Now here I'm actually putting a piece of packing paper in between because of the age of the unit, and clicking the case is closed. Checking all around, make sure it's properly closed, and there we have it, a fresh new unit ready to go. Here I'm using a tactile check to make sure that I can feel the buttons underneath. Of course the empirical test is actually using it on the car. Now I mentioned earlier that we had a broken remote unit for the garage door, and you can see the blue button at the top there, that broke. I tried to repair it and it's got beyond repair. So I made my own alternate. I bought what's called a bulkhead for the right size for the components, a micro switch to replace the blue button. So looking interior, here's the bulkhead, a hole I made for the LED, a hole I made for the micro switch. Here's the original circuit board and the 9-volt battery. And you'll see the LED is here, which actually is to go through the hole in the bulkhead. And here's the backing plate just to keep things in. It's pretty simple really. I just connected the micro switch to the two contacts that were being closed by the button on the old unit. The battery was already connected in this manner, so I didn't even have to do that. And you can see that the LED on the PCB goes through this hole. So there's a question of just measuring and making sure it all fitted together. I transferred the labels from the old unit just so I knew in the future if I needed a replacement unit what brand it was and where to get it from. Everything fits quite nicely into the box, so just measure first. I put a piece of rubber in there just to keep all the pieces together and put the back plate on. You may also notice I actually cut off the lugs on the ends of the box just to keep it nice and neat. And looking at the top, there's the micro switch, and when we press it closes the circuit and the light goes, and as it would expect, it opens the door quite nicely. So the net result is 2 car key remotes and a garage door remote, fixed for minimal cost and perfectly functional. If you're viewing this video through the website, then please go to the YouTube channel through the link below and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.